Hey everybody, this is Strategy Wizard, and this is my son Nathan.
Hello.
Today we're going to be doing an overview and review of each of the character packs for King of Tokyo and King of New York. Now the first one that came out was Cthulhu, then King Kong, and most recently Anubis. Now each one I have what comes in each pack above it. So it comes with, of course, the player board and the character that you get. It also comes with a little black standee, but that's not so important. You get the power cards for King of Tokyo and the power cards for King of New York, but I don't have King of New York. I don't really know exactly how that plays, so I don't include that. But these are the cards, the power cards for King of Tokyo for each character. Now, Cthulhu comes with these little cultists. The cultists are really neat because they actually, if you earn them, you gain. You can spend them basically to get a heart, a light, an energy, or an extra reroll. How do you get these? Well, how do you get them, Nathan?
You have to roll 4 of the same things, like heart, 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 heart.
That's right. If you roll 4 of the same thing, anything, could be 4 ones, 4 hearts, 4 attacks, then you get a cultist. Now, the thing is, for King of New York, there's also a building side. And I don't have King of New York, so I don't know what that means exactly, but for those of you who do, I'll just show you some of these buildings. They do something, I don't know what, but that's another story. But as far as King of Tokyo goes, you're going to have cultists that you can get if you roll 4 of the same thing. You'll also get some Cthulhu tokens. These tokens are for a couple of the powers, including this one. This says, give a madness token to each monster that you wound with your fists or your claw results. So a madness token basically makes it to where for each madness token, you roll that many dice, and those you have to set aside and you can't re-roll them. So it makes it harder for people to get what they want. So madness tokens are great to give to your opponents. So that's everything you get with Cthulhu, right? Okay, what do we get in King Kong, Nathan? Tell us.
We get some cards, we get captured beauty, and we get
buildings.
Buildings, right.
Okay, so most importantly, now this card, which is captured beauty, like Nathan said, is also, or it's protected beauty. This has to do with his power cards. There's one power card that will let you use this, and basically it's a way for King Kong to get an extra die. But if he ever gets hurt, then the beauty gets captured, and he has to go chase him down and capture her back. And then the buildings, there's the Tokyo Tower, and there's the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building is for King of New York, right, and Tokyo Tower is for King of Tokyo.
Tokyo.
That's right. Now, how many pieces are there for each building, Nathan?
3.
3 pieces. So there's a top,
1, 2, 3.
a middle, and a base. You have to assemble this, of course. And this one's a little wobbly. The Empire State Building is better, but it's a little hard for the Tokyo Tower for some reason. It's just not quite perfect.
It's alright now. I never noticed that.
But you can do it. And the way that works, it's an alternate win condition, and it's kind of neat. If you're in the case of Tokyo, King of Tokyo, if you're in Tokyo and you roll 4 ones, you can claim the bottom. Now you'll notice there's a little heart on it. Once you own the bottom, every turn you are going to heal 1 heart.
Right.
If you're in Tokyo and you roll another 4 ones, then you claim the middle, which means you're going to get another extra heart and an energy.
So it's basically each time it just gets better. Yeah,
you start earning more stuff.
Right.
And if you end up getting to the top, then you automatically win the game.
Which is awesome.
And yeah, it's cool to have another way to win. Now the only problem is if you're at the middle, someone could come in and take the bottom because they could get in Tokyo and they could start working on climbing up, and they'll take your stuff if they catch up to you, and you have to have both the bottom and the middle to be able to get to the top. Unfortunately, that one is just this is the only problem I have really with the components of this one. Well, I take that back. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about that right now.
Yeah.
But first of all, I just want to say, you don't have to stack it up. You could just leave it down like this, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
No big deal.
It looks a lot better if it's...
Yeah, it looks better if it's put together, but don't worry about that. Unless that bothers you. I can live with that, but there is one other problem with this. This right here, you can see how easy and how loose.
Like Cthulhu.
Show us, try to spin that. Get it closer to the camera and try to spin it spin the heart one like you're spinning a dial really fast. It barely moves because it's very tight.
Right.
But this one, spin the heart on this one, Nathan.
And if I just do a little bit, it just goes so fast.
Yeah, it's just super loose. And you'll notice that as you try to move
I noticed that
see
today.
how it's I don't know if that's just our version, if we just got unlucky, or if this is something that's consistently an issue, but that bothers me because if you're not careful and you bump it, it could end up moving, and then you go, oh wait, how much health or points did I have? That's a little bit of a problem. But
that is a big problem.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but functional. But apart from that, looking at this, there's two problems. You think that those don't stand up so well. That's a problem. But you are getting a new character with new special powers, and you're getting a new alternate win condition and ways to power yourself up every turn. Especially because if you're in Tokyo and you have this, you get healed while you're in Tokyo, which you normally can't do.
And you get energy too.
Yeah, and you can get energy. Now let's talk about Anubis. What do you get with Anubis, Nathan?
Okay, he's really powerful. Now, see, you get him, of course. You got him, right, the tile. And you get the cards.
The power cards.
Right, and you get these.
Those are curses.
Right.
And what's that above the curses?
This,
Scarab card.
Scarab card.
And
the special dice.
okay, the special die, it's a 4-sided die.
Right.
And wow, let me tell you, is it cool looking?
Yes.
Check that out. It's got this awesome look to it, and engraving. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
I know. So basically, this, and there's a card for him, but see.
Well, let's just say this. Whenever you play with Anubis, whether or not you use Anubis, you can play with the curse cards and the fate die. They work together, and the scarab goes with it. So these three things all work together. So let's say you start the game. At the very beginning, you'll turn over one of these.
Right.
Well, let's just pull it up here and we'll show you how it looks. The card says, monsters without the golden scarab cannot use energy. Now, the golden scarab is given to the person who's going to play last. Now, so monsters without the golden scarab cannot use energy. That is a bummer.
Yeah.
Whenever you roll your dice, you're going to roll the fate die along with it, and you can re-roll it along with your regular dice. But once you get to the final result, which there's 4 possibilities,
Right.
if you roll this, what happens?
Nothing.
Nothing happens. If you roll the eye, what happens?
You get to flip over one of these.
Yeah, a new card will come up that will replace the one.
Each one's different. Like this one, take the golden scarab.
Scarab.
Like this card, a keep card.
Yeah, each card that you turn over will have a different curse,
And that's
basically.
a big curse. This card, a keep card.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Even though it's one, but still.
So the thing is, so where were we? Oh yeah, so this did nothing. This makes you turn over a new card that will cover this one up. The snake and the Ankh are what will happen based on the card that you have. So in this case, monsters with the golden scarab cannot use energy. If you, on your turn, if you roll the Ankh, which you do this before you resolve your other dice, you would take the golden scarab. So you can go ahead and take the golden scarab if you ended with the Ankh. That way this doesn't apply to you anymore. If you roll the snake, then you lose 2 energy. So it's very important that you have to be careful because you might have rolled this and you go, boy, I really want to re-roll and get that Ankh, but then you roll this and you go, oh, well, that wasn't worth it. So this adds another push your luck element to it, and it can make a lot of interesting things happen. Right. So the curses have a lot of different possibilities.
And sometimes big curses.
Yeah, so we'll just show you a few of these just so you can kind of see what could come up. Monsters without the golden scarab cannot buy power cards. That's a bummer. This lets you take the golden scarab, or if you roll the snake, you discard a keep card, like Nathan said. That's a bummer. Then we've got monsters outside of Tokyo, or Manhattan in the case of King of New York, cannot use hearts. Monsters in Tokyo can use their hearts. So suddenly, you can heal when you're in Tokyo, but other people cannot heal.
Ooh.
That's huge. We haven't even seen that one yet.
Yeah, some of them can.
If someone rolled the Ankh while this was the active curse, they would be able to take control of Tokyo. But if they rolled the snake, they would have to lose Tokyo. They'd have to yield it and give it up. So there's all kinds of different things that can happen. And there's, like I said, there's a lot of cards. So a lot of variety here. Let's look at one more. At the start of each turn, the monsters with the monsters with the most energy lose 1 energy. If you roll the Ankh, you gain 2 energy. If you roll the snake, the monsters with the most energy lose another energy. So there's a lot of interesting things that can happen here. So that means Anubis, you get the new character, you get his power cards, and you gain this new thing. And again, you don't have to use Anubis to have the curse cards and the fate die in effect. So that gives you something you can, and that's the same with any of this stuff. You can have the cultists without using Cthulhu. You can have the Tokyo Tower and the Empire State Building without using King Kong. Those are things you can add in any game, regardless of adding the new characters.
That's because they're expansions.
That's right. These are just modular expansions you can include however you want.
Yeah.
Now, so Nathan, first of all, what do you think about the characters themselves? Do you like these new characters? Do they look cool?
They look definitely cool.
Which one's your favorite?
You got the dragon. You got the Don.
You're calling him a dragon?
He
Okay.
looks like one.
Okay.
And there's one of the Anubis. King Kong. Ooh, that. It's so tough. I think the Anubis would be my favorite.
He's my favorite too. He just looks really, really awesome.
Literally, why would someone have that on their head?
Well, that's a pharaoh's hat, is what that is, or their headpiece. But there's a lot. The characters are cool on their own. The powers that they get are very interesting and unique. We've got for Cthulhu, play when you reach 0 hearts. This is a temporary evolution. If you reach 0 hearts, you gain 2 hearts and continue playing, and you keep your energy and your points and your cards. You steal all cultists from other monsters, and they can't discard their cultists after you play this card, so they can't try to use them real quick like. So that's huge. You actually get to stay alive a little longer, and if anyone had any cultists, they're all going to follow you now. For each heart you must lose this turn, you can spend 1 energy to gain a heart instead of losing it. You can reach 12 hearts this way. Humongously powerful. Then let's look at a few of King Kong's abilities. We've got, if you roll at least 4 identical faces, which as we know can get you a cultist if you have the Cthulhu expansion, then you gain 1 star. So every time you roll 4 identical faces, you can gain a star. So that's a great way to start getting points.
Oh, that's Cthulhu.
If you were in Tokyo, add a fist or a claw to your roll. So you do more damage every time you're in Tokyo. That's awesome. Play when you yield Tokyo. So if you leave Tokyo, you gain hearts to your maximum amount and you skip your next turn. So so that gives you motivation to want to stay in until the last second, and whenever you're about to die, then jump out and heal yourself. You lose a turn, but at least you're going to be able to hang in there a little longer.
Right.
And then finally, let's look at a few of Anubis's cards.
Yeah, he's the best to me.
He's your favorite? Now, we'll say this. There's several cards in here that you really need to be playing with more than 2 players. We play with 2 players a lot, so some of these are not useful for us, but if you play with 3 or more, then it'll be okay. But just know, of the 3 new characters, the Anubis is more geared towards playing with larger groups. They play when a monster reaches 0 hearts. That monster loses 4 points and gains 4 hearts. You gain 4 points. That's cool. That way, whenever other people die, you do better, but even though you keep them alive. Okay, then Protector of Tombs. Ooh. Once per turn, if a monster gets a snake during his rolls, anytime if they get a snake during his rolls, no, well, once per turn, not anytime, it's once per turn. If they get a snake during their rolling, they must pay you 1 energy. That's awesome, because basically as long as you have this, you have a good chance of gaining energy over the course of the game on other people's turns. And then play before another monster in Tokyo resolves his dice. That monster leaves Tokyo and cannot use claws this turn. That is awesome. Wow. That is awesome. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. There is one other one. What's that, Nathan?
What was it?
Oh, basically it made it to where you can make someone leave Tokyo and they can't attack you on that. They can't attack that turn.
Ooh, that's powerful.
The monster whose turn it is wounds himself instead of wounding other monsters. I mean, and it's temporary, so you play it right whenever someone maybe they get 4 claws and they're about to do tons of damage, and you just drop that and you go, oh, no, sorry, you actually hurt yourself 4. I mean, great stuff.
Man,
so
4 damage to yourself?
That could end someone's turn or their game. They could be out. So that's a taste of what you got here. You have new characters, new special powers for those characters, and modular things that you can add to each game. So Nathan, that's what's in here. Right. Let's just go ahead and say, what do you rate Cthulhu?
Cthulhu would probably be a 7 out of 10.
A 7 out of 10?
Right.
I would also give Cthulhu a 7 out of 10. And the reason why, I mean, I like him. He's nice, but this right here is nothing that I would consider a really awesome addition to King of Tokyo. Now, King of New York, it may be better. I don't know. But for King of Tokyo, this modular addition is
cool is that
okay.
Each character, you get a different thing. With King Kong, you get that. With Cthulhu, you get those tiles. and the tokens, and with the Anubis, you get the cards. And that.
But talking about this one, the reason why we're giving this one a 7, at least for me, I don't know why you're giving it a 7, but the reason why I am is because I like the character a lot, and the character's worth getting, but this modular part is okay, in my opinion. It's not great. Oh, you think that's great?
Yes, I mean, literally.
Okay, so why do you only give it a 7?
7 is really good.
Okay, well, let's just keep moving on and see what you rate the others. What would you rate King Kong?
I would gonna give him a 7 out of 10, but I'm just gonna give him a 6 out of 10.
Okay, so you like him less than Cthulhu?
Yeah, the artwork, I do really like him, let me tell you, but the artwork just...
You mean just because he's an ape instead of a monster? What do you mean?
Not that. That artwork just doesn't look that great.
But apart from that, you think they're about the same?
Yeah.
So you're rating it lower just because of the way it looks?
Right.
Okay. Me, I actually would give this a... Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'll get to it in a second. I would give this one an 8 out of 10, and the reason why is because to me, this modular component is more interesting than these.
Maybe I will give it a 7 out of 7. That thing is really good.
And what makes me... So we'll say that you like them both 7 out of 7. Right. To me, it's 7 and then 8. What I like about this... I can't remember if I said this, but I did say it. Yeah, you have to roll 4 ones to be able to get one of these, and you have to be in Tokyo to start climbing it, which thematically makes sense, and it makes it to where ones are actually more useful. But usually you roll ones and you go, oh gosh, not ones. Well, now if you have both of these expansions, getting 4 of anything gives you a cultist, which is great, but now rolling 4 ones in Tokyo helps you start getting closer to winning another way, and you start getting healed every turn. So I like that a lot. That's something that I think is fun to include, and it makes it more interesting. Okay, so let's move on to Anubis. What would you rate Anubis?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10? Tell me why.
Great.
Yeah, he looks awesome. What else?
Well, see, I like this stuff.
The curse and the dice?
Right, because, no, this too.
Oh, the scarab?
Yeah, it's so good, and this dodge. Ooh, I gotta say, it's so awesome.
Yeah, this die does just look amazing. So,
it's great.
10 out of 10 for you, and I will say that I would definitely give this one a 9 out of 10. And the reason why...
His powers are unbeatable almost. I mean, look at this. I mean, 2+. The monsters with the most energy lose 1. That is so ridiculous.
Well, so to me, that's one of the things that makes this so good. Not only is Anubis, to me, an amazing character just the way he is, and his abilities are really nice and unique, but this right here, even if you're not playing with Anubis, getting to add this makes each game so much more dynamic because...
What would you rate it, though?
9 out of 10.
Okay.
Because these curses, whenever they pop up, first of all, every time you roll that eye, you're going to get a new curse. Now, it goes over the other one and it replaces it, but this is... It changes the game in some pretty powerful ways. There's one that makes it to where you cannot yield Tokyo, so you're stuck. Now you can, if you roll the right thing on the die, it'll make you leave, or it will make someone else get in. But it's the fact that those curses, you don't know what's coming up. And sometimes you might roll that eye because you want the current curse to go away, but it could be the next curse is even worse for you than the other. So I like that a lot. That unknown element that can change things and modify the game, I just think that's amazing, and I think I will probably always play with it. And getting to just look at this die makes me happy. I mean, the quality is just amazing. I don't know if you can tell, but there's even a little bit of like some shiny little sparkliness in it. I really don't know how well you can tell that, but it's pretty faint, but man, it looks good. So to me, it's 7, 8, 9. They just get better each time. Nathan says 7, 7, and 10. He apparently thinks overall that it's gotten better up to this point.
Actually, I might rate Cthulhu at 8, actually.
So it's 8, 7, 10?
Right.
You're making it hard on me, Nathan, trying to remember all this. Okay, so 7, 8, 10. No, wait, you said 8, 7, 10.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try to remember that. But so you think Cthulhu is better than King Kong,
right,
but worse than Anubis.
Right.
Okay, so hopefully I'll keep all that straight whenever I put the ratings at the end of the video. But anyway, the point is, overall, even at the worst, we really do enjoy each one of these, and I'm glad we have them. They all fit in the box. Just put it all in there, have more fun, more characters. You can't beat that with a stick. So we're happy. We enjoyed it. We're glad we have them. And leave in the comments down below what you think. If you've played them, do you agree with our ratings of each one? And if there's any questions you have, please post them, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So in the meantime, we look forward to seeing you on the next one. And thanks everybody for watching. Take care. Bye.